friend who's getting ready to start querying agents. This has recently led me to reflect about how to navigate this process, which can be equal parts exciting and frustrating and honestly downright nerve-wracking. I have been through it, and today I want to share the biggest lessons and the best tips I have learned along the way. Tips 4 and 5 are my favorites, so stick around for those. I'm going to tell you today what to do, what to avoid, and how I found my own agent. Hey writers, I am Melissa with Bourbon and Books. I am the Bourbon in Bourbon and Books. I make videos about the craft and the business of marketing and writing. Today we are diving into something every writer wonders about, and that is getting an agent. If you are ready to query or just curious about what the process really looks like, then grab a cup of tea or some bourbon and let's dig in. Tip 1, do your homework. Step 1 is all about research. You don't just want any agent. You want the right agent for your work. So look at who they represent, what genres they're looking for, and how they like to be queried. I really can't tell you how many stories I've heard of authors blasting out 100 queries to agents who don't even represent what it is they write. They don't represent that genre. Don't do that. Don't be that person. A smaller, curated list is definitely better. Tip 2 is to tailor your query. Don't just send a blind query. When you do reach out, make sure it's personal. Mention why you choose this person. Maybe it's a reference of a client of theirs whose work you admire. Maybe they rep a book that you love that's similar to yours. Show them that you've done your homework. Think of it like dating. You want to show genuine interest, not just copy and paste the same lines to everyone. Tip 3 is to be patient and persistent. This part is very tough. You'll get rejections. It's part of the game. You'll get silence, also part of the game. And sometimes you'll get interest that doesn't pan out. It's a roller coaster, truly. But patience matters. It is a numbers game. Agents are swamped all the time. And yes, often it takes time. So you just have to be aware of that. So here's where my story comes in. When I started querying Living the Vida Lola, which was back in around 2006-ish, I got a lot of advice, mostly from people who were just about as green as I was. When I ended up, miraculously, with 2 offers of representation at the same time, first I was over the moon, right? 2 agents wanted my story. One was from a huge New York agency. The other owned a small boutique agency. What I didn't understand at the time is that being a small fish in a huge lake means you're left on your own. And on the other hand, being a big fish in a small pond means you're valued in a different way. I wish I had understood that. Needless to say, the overwhelming advice I got was go with the big agency. Now, while I wouldn't change my path, and I really wouldn't because it's led me to where I am right now, which is a national best-selling author, 35 books under my belt, a solid career in publishing, a strong teaching academy where I have courses and coaching, and my developmental editing freelance business. I have a fantastic partnership with my current agent, and that is worth it all. But I have learned some things along the way, and one of those things is to follow your gut, and the other is to be careful who you take advice from. Do they have your best interest at heart? Do they know what they're talking about? Do they understand you and what you want from your agent-client relationship? It turns out the agent I signed with first liked my book, but more than that, she thought that it would sell quickly and make her money. She wanted some of the elements to be different, i.e. she wanted more romance, she wanted to lessen the caperish part, the mystery part. That's not what I wanted, but we edited that book, and at some point it ceased to be mine. My voice was sort of gone, and I just didn't feel connected to it anymore. We ended up parting ways, and I went with a different agent who moved from that big agency to a smaller one, and it was a much better fit. I rewrote that book, bringing it back to what I wanted it to be in the first place. My voice came back, and my agent sold it in under 3 months to St. Martin's Press. That book is Living the Vida Lola, and it launched my career. that agent and I were together for 15 years. 2 years ago, I signed with a new agent who has helped guide my career into magical women's fiction. So I've gone off in a little bit of a different direction with a new agent. But again, I wouldn't trade my path because I love the way things have turned out. But I do often wonder what my career path might have been if I had chosen the small pond. The bottom line is everyone has opinions, but not everybody understands your book, your goals, or your genre. And this leads me to tips 4 and 5. Tip 4 is to trust your gut. This is so important. I knew that big agent was not the right one, but I went with her anyway. The agent that you get is not just someone who sells your book. They are your business partner. And so you want someone who believes in your work, who communicates clearly, and who makes you feel comfortable and valued. If something feels off, don't ignore that little voice or that feeling in your gut. Signing with the wrong agent can be worse than not having one at all. So just be cognizant of that. And tip 5 is to be careful who you take advice from, because everyone has opinions, but not all advice is good. And not all advice applies to you. So pay attention to credible sources and to people who know you and your genre and what you want out of that agent relationship. And finally, tip 6, don't think short term, think long term. Don't settle for someone who only cares about your current book. Look for an agent who is invested in your career, someone you can see working with over the years. So as I said, I was with my second agent for more than 15 years, and now I'm on year 2 with my third agent, hopefully my last agent. It's the best agent-client partnership I've had. She is truly a partner. So my advice is to think long term, but also to know that change is okay. All right, to recap, do your homework, personalize your queries, be patient, and trust your gut. Be careful whose advice you follow, and look for somebody to be your partner for the long term. Finding your agent is not just about getting that yes, it's about finding your yes, who works for you. So if you're in the query trenches right now, hang in there. It is a numbers game. You are not alone. And if you're getting ready to start this process, just understand it's going to take time and you need to be picky. You want to find the best agent for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts about your interactions with agents, your agent hunt. So drop a comment about that. Please subscribe to this channel, share with a writer friend, and until next time, happy querying, happy writing, and happy pinning if you're following my Pinterest playlist as well. I'll see you next time.
Ain't never needed Poppy's blessing, no.